everyone! Today for my carpool vlog with Andorra Guides I have a very special guest, Susanne Georgi, who's a singer, and she has in fact represented Andorra in 2009 Eurovision Song Contest. Hello Susanne!
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to have you here as my guest
Me
for
too.
actually a special Christmas edition.
Yay!
Are you ready?
I'm super ready.
Let's go!
And I love Tesla, so this is perfect.
We are starting our journey from the building where your Star Academy is.
Yes.
But before we talk about that, I always start with a question. How did you end up in Andorra? Because in fact you come from Denmark.
True, I'm Danish. It's a very good question. I came very young. I came almost 30 years ago now. And I came because I've always been singing with my sister. Mm-hmm. And then when I was...
You have a band together?
We have a band duo together, yeah.
Yeah.
And at the moment we got signed and we started selling albums worldwide, then we were like, okay, well, it's the same to go from Barcelona airport as it is to go from Copenhagen airport, and we wanted to go somewhere with sunshine, and we actually initially wanted to go to Barcelona, and then we heard about Andorra and we went there for a weekend and we just completely fell in love, and then we've stayed ever since. Well, my sister had been traveling around. She lived in England for some years, now she's back in Denmark, but for me it's like there's no other place in this world I would like to live, you know.
And you actually completely build your life here. You have a husband that comes from here.
Yeah.
How do you find it? Because you come from quite a different culture.
Yeah.
And Scandinavia is known for people being very reasonable, very punctual, people that you can rely on.
Yes.
And actually, Denmark is known for, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it well, hygge. Yes, so slow life.
Yeah.
So how did you find yourself adjusting to that?
I think the fact that I came so young did a lot, because you know, when you're young you just go with the flow, and you know, but yeah, I've had some, you know, funny things happening to me. So especially in the beginning, I think, you know, we needed to decorate the houses and stuff, and we would wait for the sofa to come, and it didn't arrive, and we, you know, actually hooked up at 4 o'clock, and then calling and like, but it's raining outside, don't you see, we can't come with your couch. And I was like, what? But they wouldn't call anything. But that's something you get used to, this very laid back lifestyle of we don't do today, we'll do tomorrow kind of thing, no? But I think I don't know, maybe it goes more with me, this lifestyle, in a way. I'm very punctual, I must say, because my dad has always been very strict with the hours and everything. But you know, everything else goes with me, I must say.
Let's talk about the exciting thing. So in 2009 you represented Andorra in the Eurovision Song Contest. Tell me about it. How do you remember that event?
It was just wonderful. I think it was, I suppose it's like for a cyclist to be in the Tour de France, or for an athlete to be in Olympics. No, it's a little bit the same, no? And for me, it's always been the Eurovision. I mean, this was like, the Eurovision night was like literally bigger than Christmas night. I mean, we would sit with our little voting pads and the whole family and candy and, you know, the whole thing.
So this is a big tradition for families.
Yeah, especially in Scandinavia.
Sit down all together and watch, cheer up for your country.
Yeah. I mean, that culture definitely, you know, that surprised me when we got here. There wasn't really a Eurovision culture so much as in Scandinavia, obviously, because, you know, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, they've won a lot of times, and it's been Iceland. They had some good songs. We've always had some good songs from Scandinavia. So that was a big tradition. So I think that the moment I actually got to live it, it was like, wow, this is, you know, I finally got to live this moment that I've been dreaming of my whole life. So it was a big thing in my career, regardless if you pass or don't pass to the final. Just being on that stage was just like incredible, you know.
Did it meet your expectations?
Yeah,
it
really did. It's funny because it was a whole thing. It wasn't just the moment, the 3 minutes on stage. You enjoy them, but you're so nervous. But I did enjoy it because I've gotten so old now that I always say to myself, remember to enjoy it. You know, I always say to my daughter, she's singing as well, and I always say, whatever you do, remember to enjoy it, you know. and I did that. But the whole other thing is like, wow, I'm sitting in the green room of Eurovision, you know, and they sit with the flags and the camera goes around. It's just these moments, you know. So it was amazing. It really was.
And also, to get to Eurovision, to represent Andorra, you had to win the national.
Yes.
And do I know correctly? Was it the first time that actually people living in Andorra were to vote as well for the song?
Yes, I think that was the first. If I'm not mistaken, on the phone, I think yes, it was the first time. If I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And that was amazing because I got like in the total there was a jury votes and there were like also televotes. Mm-hmm. And the amazing thing was, I mean, those two combined, I got like 70% of the votes. So it was amazing. It was like
people loved you.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure. I wasn't, you know, because I'm from outside.
Yeah.
So,
but I think the big benefit for you was that the song was actually in Catalan and in English.
Yeah.
So I think people here really appreciate when a foreigner comes to Andorra and makes the effort to speak the local language.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's funny they have a thing for that here, don't they? But you live here too, so you know this. They're very, very protected of the language, which is something I actually like, you know, because they're very, like Denmark, we're not that many, but you know, you can go to Denmark and you can go
everyone speaks English.
Anywhere.
Yes.
You like national building, the government, the communes, you can go anywhere and you don't even have to say, excuse me, do you speak English? You just speak in English, and they'll answer you straight away in English, you know. Here it's like it's such a proud thing for them, and that's kind of sweet, I think, you know.
Yeah, and it's kind of sweet of you to participate and sing in Catalan.
Yeah.
And why Andorra? Why have you tried to take part and represent Denmark?
I have actually. We did some years back. When was that? 2007, I think it was. And of course, some can say that is. I mean, that was. I think they sent in 2,000 songs, and we ended up in the final as well. And here in Andorra, I think it was 100 something songs. So it's, in that aspect, people say, well, it's easier from Andorra, and it is. But in another way, it's also much more difficult because it's very hard to get Andorra into the finals because we have two neighbors, and I mean, regardless. Eurovision is a lot about who can vote and who can't. And the two neighbors we have, they were not allowed to vote, and Denmark was not allowed to vote. So that was it was a hard battle in a way.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I think whatever is supposed to happen happens, you know?
Yeah. And as you said, it's not only about the final result, it's about the whole experience and enjoying it. But in fact, 2009, so when you represented Andorra in the Eurovision, that was the last time that Andorra participated in this contest.
Yeah.
But you're doing a lot to get Andorra back on the map.
Yeah.
In fact, I have signed a petition to get Andorra back in the competition. What's happening in this topic? Am I understanding it correctly? Because I know that you actually found someone who can privately fund it.
Yeah.
And you went to meet the Andorran Prime Minister to speak about it.
Yeah.
So is it, can we blame the COVID on postponing it, or what's actually going on?
I do believe so. I have faith in our government. I really do. I know a lot of Andorrans, especially, they like to criticize the government, but I actually think we have an amazing government. Because we have a small country and it's very well taken care of, and you know. Well, I do blame it on that. I think I've been fighting for this for years, but when the government changed, I thought this is going to be the right government. That's the one that's going to get us there. I just have a good feeling about the young. They're different, you know. Sometimes a good clean out is always good.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided again to meet the Prime Minister of Culture. I've met so many now over the years. And they're very positive, but the first answer was that there wasn't any money. So since I'm a person of action, I went out and I found the money. And after that, the COVID came.
Yeah.
So we're in a little bit on that. Like the last few meetings I've had has been about very positive, but right now, even I also think it's ridiculous to say yeah, we'll go next year. Nobody knows we'll run next year. I don't want to spend a lot of, money and effort and time and work on something.
For those who don't know, this year's edition was actually cancelled because of COVID. So we don't know where we're going for next year.
Yeah, for now what we talked about is 2022. That will be the most realistic, I think, year to go.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think that's a really nice tradition, and Andorra is known for its benefits if it comes to sports, skiing, hiking, taxes, shopping, but culture not so much. So I think that this is a good step forward. And as well, your business, what you're doing as your job, I think that it's super nice. So you're running a Star Academy. Tell us about it, please.
Well, it's a singing academy with a little different approach. It's not very traditional. I have almost 100 students now, mainly kids, but like the last few years we started adding adults as well, and it's all in English. The concept is very different. I have a very different attitude when it comes to teaching because, again, I think it's my upbringing. I don't want any, the schools in Denmark, for instance, are very different than here. And I think the moment the kids arrive at 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm not going to sit them down with, sheets of music, and then there's no way they're going to have, they have too much energy at that time to do that, and they've been sitting for 8 hours anyway. So my approach is very, very different. It's got to be fun. We are playing, we are singing our heads out,
Singing the only thing that they can learn in academy?
For now, yes. For now, I have so many musician friends, and some of them say, why don't we? I'm like, listen, you know what? There's so many music schools, and they're really, really good. But I wanted to have a place that is dedicated just to the singing, because there's so many things apart from singing. Now, like I said, we're making a recording studio. I have so many different people working for me. Thank God I have such a good team helping me. Sort of, actually, a kid or an adult can walk in the door and have an amazing voice. We will create a star. That's why it's called Stars Academy. Out of this person, we can make an awesome professional video. We can make recording. I have so many contacts. I can actually get their song somewhere if they're songwriters. We're doing songwriting camps and songwriting sessions. So it's so much more within the singing scene,
I've actually seen some videos of the kids from your academy, and it was mind-blowing. They're so talented.
Thank you.
It's amazing, and I love to see kids with so much passion. And then I thought about it. There is actually Eurovision Junior right now.
There is. That is also a fight of mine. Yes, it is. and it's amazing in such a small country that we have so many talented kids and adults, And I think it's because I came from such a little, like a small town. I'm a small town girl. There was nothing. I was so lucky that my parents were constantly singing and playing music and giving us instruments and investing in singing classes on the other side of the country, They really fought for us in that matter, And I was like, wow, had I had this in my hometown when I was a girl, I would have been a star, not by 18, but by 12. You know what I mean? So I do push them hard. The really talented ones, I push them hard, but it has to be fun. If they don't want it or if they don't think it's fun, I've never ever forced any kids to be on stage, because we try to make as many events as we can. But if they don't want to sing solo, I would never force a kid to do that.
We're nearly approaching our destination, where we will be able to see Escaldes and Andorra la Vella, so a country that I guess right now you consider to be your home country.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you very much for not only for this interview, but as well for what you're doing as an expat for this for Andorra and for the community. And as we are we're approaching Christmas, I would like to encourage everyone to listen to your Christmas song.
Thank you.
You will be able to see the link and check it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was so nice talking to you. It's such a nice ride.
Yeah.